A grizzly attacking people right after he's set free? A lion desperately scratching grass to grasp the fact that he's actually free? Thousands of birds tasting fresh air and freedom for the first time? Every animal reacts differently to being free for the first time after a while, but nothing can compare to the joy and relief they feel as soon as they settle in their surroundings. And guess what? In today's video, we're going to show you 25 different clips of animals being freed for the first time ever. So without further ado, let's get started. Nothing's as scary as uncertainty. The bigger the animal, the more uncertain it is. For example, when you're about to free a humongous rhino who's also at the prime of his life, the stress is unmatched. Who knows, the fellow might want to test his giant horn out on some prey right after tasting freedom. Who knows, the prey might be the people that freed him. One of the most graceful and awe-inducing creatures of Mother Nature, leopards are meant to flaunt their speed and stamina in the wild. But in this video, we can see our spotty fellow wasting not a single second in sprinting outside, and it doesn't take a lot to see that despite being held in a cage, the leopard's agility hasn't been affected at all. One of the most dangerous omnivores to exist, grizzly bears might be cute, but that's only when they're animated or stuffed with cotton. You can imagine how murderous and bloodthirsty these seemingly adorable fellows are by watching this clip, where the first thing the bear does right after being freed is attacking the people who left it in the wilderness. Let's just say that the people got lucky that no one was harmed because the bear did not have the tiniest shred of empathy before attacking the vehicle. Being free's one thing, but tasting fresh air and being released into the ideal environment at the perfect time is something not all animals get to experience. You might be wondering, what do we mean by that? Well, in our next clip, you can see a hippo being released by authorities so it can live in the wilderness with no cages or bars. But guess what? As soon as the carnivore steps into the water, you might notice something. He's the only male in the area, and all around him are eager hippo females. Well, someone's gonna love their new life. When it comes to being relatable, very few animals are as good as koalas. Climbing up their favorite tree, chewing leaves, quietly minding their own business, and all the while looking insanely adorable. And you can see how ecstatic this koala bear was the moment the cage's door slid upwards. All over the world, it's extremely common to cage pigeons and clip their wings. However, you can see the authorities in Portugal taking a very noble step as they freed thousands of pigeons who never knew what freedom was and had been living in captivity for God knows how long. People might not consider foxes to be particularly dangerous, but staying within confined walls is sometimes all one needs to be insanely angry. The same happened in the case of this fox. As you can see, the man is ready to free it, but the fox is a little too blinded by anger to judge the situation. However, it runs out the moment it figures out its way. Known as the puppies of the ocean, seals are as adorable as it gets. But here you can see a bunch of these blubbery fellows so excited to swim in the endless waters again. Humans might be guilty of holding these glorious species in cages, but a lot of animals have been rescued due to the kindness and bravery of a man, too. And that's exactly what happened in our next clip, where a little boy in Yemen saved a fox. Let's take a look. Some animals never get used to living behind bars, away from the wilderness. In our next clip, you can see the king of the jungle eagerly leaving the cage and then clawing at the soil and grass to reassure himself that he's actually free. For thousands of years, elephants have been used as entertainment, and for that purpose, they're still held in captivity to this day. But here you can see a bunch of people freeing it from the chains, and the elephant looks pretty happy as well.
Free elephant!
Are we supposed to hate or punish a wild animal for being murderous? Isn't that just nature? There's a reason keeping wild animals as pets is a horrible idea, as they can act on their predatory instincts at any time. The same happened with this murderous crocodile that killed dozens of people until it was captured, but instead of killing it for merely acting upon its nature, people decided to free it somewhere far away in the wilderness where it belongs. One of the most innocent and adorable herbivores to exist, deer aren't the sharpest when it comes to detecting danger that isn't coming from a predator. That's why in our next clip, we can see a baby deer stuck in a gate and desperately calling for help. Luckily, a man was nearby and kind enough to help him out. Remember when we mentioned how a grizzly bear attacked the people who freed him earlier? Well, luckily, this bear cub in our next clip was nothing like that, and in fact, he was pretty eager to meet his family. What if the cat you've adopted is not a cat at all? The feline family is insanely identical to each other, and you'd be shocked to see how similar an ocelot is to a regular house cat. The only difference is that ocelots are like leopards, but a lot smaller in size. And since we're already talking about the feline family, let's take a look at this majestic lynx that gets released into the wild after being behind bars for God knows how long. And how can we forget about one of the smartest and most mischievous animals out there? As you can see, the moment these monkeys see an entrance, they wasted no time in hopping out. It almost feels like there was a tennis ball machine inside the vehicle that was shooting monkeys instead of tennis balls. Another great example of compassion and empathy can be seen in our next clip, where after taking care of June the turtle for months and nursing her back to health, now she's ready to be released into the deep, endless sea again. One of the most glorious animals in existence, a sign of bravery and power, it'd be a shame to keep horses inside confined walls. And in our next clip, we can see a beautiful horse running out of the truck and breathing in freedom for the first time. Next up, we have man's best friend. Keeping dogs as a pet is not a problem at all. But if you see a dog roaming around with a chain around its neck, that might be something to worry about. And that's exactly what happened in our next clip, where you can see a pit bull with a chain around its neck and a lady helps the poor fellow out, and we can see how happy the pit bull is. One of the most fascinating creatures alive, monkeys are similar to humans in more ways than you'd think they are. In fact, did you know that they display emotions like affection the same way that humans do? That's right, folks. And in our next clip, you can see them hugging and showing affection to the little monkey right after he gets freed. One of the most ferocious predators in existence, tigers, were never meant to be caged. These majestic striped cats belong to nature. And in our next clip, we can see the tiger hesitating a little before leaping outwards and running away. Known as the meanest animal alive, you can never expect badgers to not scratch you brutally, no matter how kind you are. And that's why here we can see the man dropping the badger's cage from a distance and then freeing it with the help of a stick. But even then the badger tries to attack him. Luckily, a man was nearby and kind enough to help him out. Enough about terrestrial animals, let's talk about our next feathery fellow. That's right, folks. Here we can see a condor being freed after he was nursed back to health because of a broken wing. Another one of nature's most intelligent creations, chimpanzees are subjected to a lot of brutality as they're considered ideal test subjects in many cases. And here you can see that after being freed, at first they were hesitant, but as soon as they realized that they're free now, they rejoiced and hugged each other before running out cheerily. Alright folks, that's all for today's video. Which one was your favorite part? Tell us in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Take care, and we'll see you in our next video.